You ever been told to leave your own damn house because some bleach blonde punk with a sports car and a rich mommy thinks he deserves it more than you? Yeah, that happened. And let me tell you, that day lit a match under 20 years of discipline I had buried deep under layers of calm, law, and a whole lot of patience. But I'm getting ahead of myself. My name's Reggie Shaw. I spent 2 decades in law enforcement, not behind a desk, but out in the field, in the thick of it. From walking the beat in the worst corners of Riverdale to leading joint ops with federal task forces, I clawed my way up. But the real battle was surviving it without becoming the very thing I was fighting. See, I didn't grow up soft. My father was a mechanic with a drinking problem. My mother? She left when I was 7, packed a bag one night and walked into the rain, never came back. That kind of abandonment doesn't leave scars. It becomes the skin itself. When I joined the academy, I was angry, rough around the edges, reckless, like I had something to prove. And the military drills they ran us through, man, they nearly broke me. We were up before dawn, sprinting hills in full gear, getting screamed at by instructors who didn't care if you passed out, bled out, or blacked out. But it forged something in me, something unshakable. Discipline, focus, a code. And then, there was Vanessa. She was the one who gave me a reason to slow down, the one who made me believe that life wasn't just about survival, it was about building something. Together we bought a house at the edge of a sleepy cul-de-sac, the kind where everyone waves, and the biggest scandal is a misplaced recycling bin. She died 5 years ago. Pancreatic cancer. She was gone in 6 months, and every inch of that house, from the squeaky stair to the little window nook she used to read in, became a shrine. I didn't decorate it, didn't change a thing. I just kept it like it was, like she'd come back. Then Karen moved in next door. Real name? Doesn't matter. Tight face, tighter ponytail, always clutching a clipboard like it was a badge. She didn't say hello, didn't introduce herself. Just left a cream-colored note on my windshield about how my garbage bins were 3 inches over the property line. I moved them. A week later, she wrote about my grass being a 1/4 inch too high. I knew the game. I'd seen it in interrogation rooms, tiny tests to see if they can control you. But I had no time to play queen's pawn on a suburban chessboard. I was still consulting with the city on a string of luxury car thefts, precision jobs, done by someone who knew tech better than most departments. They'd swipe a Maserati right off a gated driveway, clean, no trace, not even a tire print. My instincts told me this was organized, sophisticated, the kind of syndicate that thinks 3 steps ahead and erases the 4th. And while I was chasing ghosts on the clock, Karen was raising one in real life. Her son, Dylan. He came home from college that summer. 19. Bleached hair, $200 sneakers, drove a yellow McLaren like he stole it, maybe because he did. And he strutted around like he owned the cul-de-sac, blasting music, revving his engine at 2 a.m., leaving beer cans on my lawn like they were party favors. I let it slide. I was tired. Tired of confrontation. Tired of being the angry black man in a neighborhood built on fake smiles and silent judgment. But then, one Tuesday I hear a knock. I open the door, and there's Dylan, with his Barbie doll girlfriend tucked behind him, clutching a designer purse like a scared little bird. And without flinching, he says, "My girlfriend and I need a place to start our life, so we've decided you should move out." I blinked, laughed, told him there were realtors downtown, and then he said it. "We don't want just any place. We want this one. And let's be honest, no one really wants you here." Yeah, he said that to a retired police chief. At my own front door, in front of my security cam. I felt the heat rise, that old street cop fury bubbling just under the surface. But I'd spent 20 years learning not to swing, to observe, wait, and strike smart. So I smiled, and let him leave, thinking he'd won. What he didn't know was that I'd already clocked the $50,000 watch on his wrist, or that his girlfriend's purse had just dropped in a luxury ad the week before for $5,000. 19 years old, no job, wearing a mortgage on each arm. Yeah, this wasn't arrogance. This was a front. I went back to the precinct that night, met with Harding, a detective who'd bled just as much as I had in this city. We started digging, quietly. And what we found was the iceberg under the smug little smile. Turns out, Dylan wasn't just an entitled brat. He was the architect of the car theft ring I'd been hunting for months. Used his computer science degree to write custom software that cracked high-end key fob systems, identified targets through social media posts, tracked down luxury car owners who bragged too loud. And the real twist? His girlfriend wasn't just arm candy. She was a reluctant accomplice, caught in his web, too scared to leave. We brought her in under a fake pretext. Soft lights, kind words, made it about her safety, not his crimes. And when she broke down, I swear, every word that came out of her mouth rewired the case. Shipping port connections, ghost containers, crypto payments, customs bribes, the whole damn thing, uncovered in one interview. But while I was stacking evidence, Karen was stacking complaints. She canvassed the neighborhood, clipboard in hand, whispering poison at every doorstep. Suddenly, I was the villain, the aggressive black man with secret ties to gang violence. City Council got anonymous letters. Newspaper headlines hinted at misconduct. I was dragged into a closed-door hearing to review my temperament. Even Harding was questioned. She got a letter, unsigned, threatening her family if she kept supporting me. Meanwhile, Dylan kept flaunting, posting blurred pics of stolen vehicles, wearing different watches every week. The audacity was surgical. But then came the cinematic moment. Karen, high on her gossip campaign, scheduled a meeting with the chief of police to file a formal complaint. She came in, heels clicking, lawyer in tow, smug as hell. And then I stood up from behind the desk. Her jaw dropped. The lawyer blinked. The city council rep just muttered, "Oh, damn." Because the man she'd tried to evict, the man she'd called a threat to the community, was the chief she had just begged for help. The irony? Chef's kiss. That same night, 10 p.m. sharp, we executed the bust. 3 stolen cars, 1 sting, SWAT on every corner. Spike strips rolled out like ribbons. Dylan's McLaren hit the barrier like a spoiled dream. He was cuffed face down, his mouth finally shut. The footage went viral. News crews, hashtags, local talk shows couldn't stop replaying it. Some called it justice. Some said it was overkill. Karen cried on national TV, claiming I had ruined her son's life over a lawn dispute. Social media split down the middle. Half saw a hero, half called it revenge. There was a hearing, a PR war, a lawsuit. I was subpoenaed, interrogated, slandered, praised, all in a week. Harding was temporarily reassigned for her safety. My house was egged. Then a crowd showed up with flowers. Same neighbors who'd avoided me now wanted selfies. Let me tell you, it's strange being the center of both admiration and hate. Then came the real choice. The DA asked if I wanted to press additional charges: wire fraud, corruption, laundering. We had the evidence. But it would destroy Karen's family completely. Her husband, her daughter, their savings, their name. I sat with that file all night, and in the morning, I handed it back and said one word: no. Because justice ain't always about fire. Sometimes, it's about letting the ashes fall where they may. A week later, Karen's house went up for sale. The councilman retired for health reasons. Dylan pled out and took a deal. 10 years, no parole. And me? I sat on my porch, box of pepperoni pizza beside me, watching a young couple move in next door with their toddler. The dad smiled, waved, said, "Heard you keep the street safe." I just smiled back, didn't say a word. But sometimes, late at night, I wonder, if that kid knocks again, what would I do? Because peace is never free. Sometimes it costs everything you don't do. So tell me, if it were you, would you have burned it all down?